So welcome to this video where we're going to input the data from Excel to SPSS. And in this video, we are going to use the database that we have in here. So this is after the coding, the cleaning, and then doing the inverse for the questions that were inverse, the yellow ones. So we are going to start from here in SPSS. So the first thing, my suggestion again, is to go directly to variable view. In variable view, you're going to input relevant information about the data, about the variables. So we can start with the first one. The first variable is called STU, right? We remember that from Excel, it is called STU. So we're going to write STU, and then we click enter. Then we type enter. So the name is what will appear in SPSS. The type, you leave it as numeric because we now have numbers. With and decimals, we can keep it like that. And the label, you can also add like a label. So you have the name plus the label if you want, but I can leave it like that. Values, you leave it like that. Missing is fine. And I like, but it's just personal approach, that I like to have smaller columns. I don't like very large columns. Another thing that I like is because we only have 1 and 0, I also don't like to have decimals, so I will say decimals 0. So these two changes are just something that I like. But something very important is that when you add a new variable, you have to decide what type of variable you are using. Is it scale, ordinal, or nominal? And I will give you examples of each of them. The first variable is a nominal variable, because the nominal variable means that 1 or 0 doesn't mean that one is better or higher than the other. It does mean that 1 is 1 and 0 is 0, like two types of things. If you see the drawing, like the small icon in there, means that you have the reds and the yellow, reds and green and blue. It means like 1 is like one group and 0 is another group. It doesn't mean that one is higher than the other. So we are going to name it nominal, because being a student is you are a student or you are not. The next one is about gender, but we decided to call it fem. So we are going to do 0 decimals and the columns 3. And in here, it's going to be also nominal, because it only means that 1 is female and 0 is something else. For the next one, age is very good example. I will also do 0 and I will do 3. And here, the type of variable that we have for age is a scale or ordinal variable. A scale variable is a variable where the same distance between 1 and 2 is the same distance as 2 and 3. So for example, centimeters. Between 1 and 2 is the same distance than 2 and 3. So I would say age is a scale variable because the distance between 1 and 2 and 3 is the same, is 1 year, 365 days. So I will call it scale. An ordinal scale, and we have one, is more like a ranking, but I will explain when I input that one. Year is the same as age. Year numeric, I will go with 0, I will go with 3, and I will say scale, because it's the same, it's a scale of years. The current, if you are currently a student, let's call it cur, and then we have 0, and then we have 3 in here, and the type of scale is going to be a nominal variable, right? You are or you are not. It doesn't mean that one is higher than the other. But in this level variable is going to be very interesting, because level means which is the level of the education that you are studying. And that is a perfect example of an ordinal variable. An ordinal variable is like a ranking, which is the first, which is the second, which is the third, but it doesn't mean that the distance between 1, 2, and 3 is the same. Like in scale, the distance is the same, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. But in ordinal, in this ranking, it's not like that. The distance between bachelor, master, and PhD is not exactly the same. It's just that it's like a ranking of what you studied first. So we have the perfect example, ordinal. And from here on, we have the variables that of our survey: happiness 1, happiness 2, happiness 3, happiness 4, locus of control 1, all of that. So you have to add that HA1, HA2, HA2, HA3, HA4, blah, blah, blah. And then you have 0, 0, 0, 0, and 3, 3, 3. And this variable is going to be a scale. We're going to assess them as scale because we actually call it like, right, we are using the Likert scale from 1 to 10. And my suggestion from here on is that you copy one of them because it's exactly the same. They are all zeros, they're all scales, it's exactly the same. And you just copy it 6 times because the next question is locus of control 1, locus of control 3, 4, 5, 6. So you just copy that. And then you copy that for everything. I will stop the video in here because I think it's not worth doing this in the video, but you can do it with your Excel file, just inputting everything. To double check, I think we have 42 variables, so you should end up with 42 in here. The next video, we're going to do the reliability test and calculate the average.